walked in on your parents while they were being brutally attacked by a psychotic wizard killer who was out to murder you too? Harry Potter has. Follow our deformed hero as he battles beasts, bad guys, and bullies in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling. Perched atop a high mountain, windows sparkling in the starry sky, lay a vast castle with many turrets and towers. Harry had finally arrived at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Ron Weasley.
Hermione Granger.
Harry Potter? Are you really Harry Potter?
I know all about you, of course. You're in a modern magical history.
Do you have the scar?
Silence!
Whoa!
Silence!
Whoa!
Silence! Thank you. I'm Professor Dumbledore, headmaster of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. And I have a start of term notice for you. Everyone should know that the third floor corridor on the right-hand side is
Out of bounds!
to everyone who does not wish to die. A very painful death. Ahem. And now bedtime. Off you trot.
Bippity-boppity-boo. Harry was happy to be in Hogwarts, but it meant that he had potions with Professor Snape the next day. Ah, Potter, our new celebrity.
When we talk about proportionality, all I'm saying is that if an oppressive government uses violence against the people are just in using violence in retaliation.
Okay, that's fine. I'm kind of curious.
Sure.
Like, I don't know what this has to do with your case, but can you name me a violent revolution that produced a democratic government?
Sure, I can actually name three.
Okay,
the
go
American
ahead.
Revolution, the Romanian
Okay, wait, let's stop
Revolution,
there.
and-
The American Revolution, right? Now, after the American Revolution, isn't it true that one, blacks were not allowed to vote, two, women were not allowed to vote, and three, if you didn't have property, you weren't allowed to vote?
That may be true, but it definitely set us on the path towards a democracy.
So
And I
your
would
argument
argue-
is that the violent revolution that we had in America was justifiable because eventually we used nonviolent methods to fix our problems?
Okay, so against the affirmative case, you talk about Florida as an example of political oppression. And you agree that the resolution is a question of on balance, general principles, right?
I understand that you're going to make the argument that this is one example. My argument, however, is that nowhere in the affirmative case do you prove that political oppression always, or on balance, has to be violent.
Okay, but just answer my question, please. So would you say Florida is the norm for political oppression?
No, but I also would say that the
So
political
it's not
oppression...
the norm
no,
for political oppression?
Can I answer the question?
Sure.
Okay.
Bum, 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 bum. She talked to me, Moist. Oh, but why did it have to be during my heist? Moist, you done?
Yeah, and we're live in now.
Ladies and gentlemen, feast your eyes on my freeze ray. With this, I will be able to defeat my nemesis, Captain Hammer. But first, I must do my laundry. Bum, 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 bum.
It's so dumb that we've been coming here for so long and have never spoke.
I know. Months and months of this stunningly boring chore.
I'm actually a fan of laundry.
Psych, I love it. So, how was your weekend?
It was good. I went on a date.
Who is this sweetie layered man you speak of?
His name's Captain Hammer.
Captain Hammer?
Billy,
Yeah,
you're driving your spork into your leg.
so I am. Hilarious.
Well, I'm interested to know what you think of him. He said he might stop by.
Stop by here? Now? Boy, you know, look at my wrist. I really gotta go.
Well, what about your clothes?
Yeah, I don't love these. I'll see you later.
Oh, pardon me.
Pardon?
Billy, the laundry buddy. You look horribly familiar.
Look, I'd love to stay in chit-chat.
You've got a little crush, don't you, Doc? Well, that's gonna make this hard to hear. Later on, I'm gonna take a little Penny back to my place, give her the night of her life, just because you want her. And I get what you want. Tonight, Penny's with the hammer, and these are not the hammer. The hammer.
Yeah, I know.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I believe we have first question.
All right. So you talk about how the Russian foreign minister is all about peace all of a sudden. When was the last time that the Russian foreign minister supported a ceasefire?
When he said that he would support unilateral ceasefire.
Well, it was
let me
actually-
clarify.
hold on.
When he
The
said that
first time.
he could, like, there was a possibility and a high probability
No, I understand.
that,
What was the
that
first
the
time
Russian,
that he
that the
asked for a
rebels would lay
ceasefire?
down their arms in the case of a unilateral ceasefire. Now,
Tim,
can we ask you a question?
Wait,
No,
Tim.
no, because that's not the first time that he asked
They
for a
haven't-
ceasefire.
they haven't had
the
these-
first
Hold-
time.
hold
Allow me
on.
to explain. The first time he got a ceasefire was actually in April when he said, "Look, Ukrainian military, just lay down your arms. It'll all be fine." He laid down his arms, and
Wait,
guess what happened?
that's not
They
true.
got the rebels got more aid,
That's-
and that allowed the rebels to essentially have a resurgence in effect. So what this unilateral ceasefire means is that if we essentially fall into Russia's trap, we're just going to
hang on.
essentially
The
have a worse
reason why the
situation than we
April
have in the status
17th
quo.
Geneva peace talks, which you talk about, failed was because the Ukrainian military went on a counter-offensive against the rebels in the region of Luhansk and Donetsk.
Hold on.
No. It's because the rebels instantly fought back. They rejected the
hang on.
ceasefire the same way that they are right now.
For example, Mackenzie here specializes in impromptu, which means I get to pick the subject and he has 2 minutes to prepare. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
All right, I will take the topic of Star Wars.
Okay, he has 2 minutes.
The story of Star Wars is so much more than just a fun science fiction, action-packed film, but rather the story of Star Wars is the story that teaches us moral lessons about ourselves.
I'm now open for questions.
Questions. York.
Senator, would not a free market solution decimate the African political system based on patronage and also the system of aid that currently exists from the governments to its people?
No, I would disagree. I would agree with part with that, but the fact is the African governments already are very corrupt, and it would probably not be a big problem if we decimated them. The aid that they give to the people is questionable, actually, Senator, because the aid really does not get to the people.
Banerjee?
How do you respond to the fact that microloans may not be the proper solution since it is dependent on the fact that these poor people will be able to pay back these loans?
Well, Senator, that's why we have the debt forgiveness with the G8 nations.
Bevilacqua?
Thank you, Senator. You stated that we need economic reform and they need to build small businesses. But wouldn't this private investment come from the aid, help them that we in turn will be giving?
No, Senator. What it's going to come from is, as I stated in my speech, the microloan organizations, which gives small amounts of loans to the African peoples to buy things like sewing machines so they can start a textile industry.
Thank you, Senator.
My question is simple. How do microloans prevent the spread of AIDS in Africa?
Well, Senators, clearly it doesn't, but what it does, as I stated in my speech, it will lead to economic change, which will lend itself to good political and social change, and that is longevity. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. You may be seated. Seeing how we finish yet another cycle of debate, are there any motions? Barring any motions, I'll now entertain a speech on the affirmation. Ask Speaker Steve Brown.
As a nation, we face numerous challenges. And the only way we can meet these challenges, the only way we can embrace that dream of equality, and the only way to overcome the problems that threaten to tear us apart is by coming together, all differences aside. So first, let's open our math books and simplify as we examine the variables of racial and gender inequalities. Then, let's say after school for some tutoring, so we can analyze the effects that these inequalities have on our society. Then finally, let's skip to the back of the book for some answers. I've learned the majority of the math I know from my twin, Beyonce.